Origin chance, and this is Breadgate. Why every fast food joint will be selling loaves. Loaves of bread? The whole bread. Yeah, that's not a thing in India as far as I know, right? I mean, I'm sure you can buy that, but usually people buy sliced up one from the bakery or something. But yeah, loaves of bread. So why every fast food will sell? I don't know. This is from the channel Fat Files. Somehow now I'm looking forward to Fat Files videos more than the Factoration one because I get in the military things. I'll watch a lot of military things already. But this is like every day, basically whatever Factoration basically read about or thought of that day, and that's basically research is in deep, and that's the video. So yeah, this is gonna be fucking awesome. Remember, if you like my next on subscribe, so that way I know which videos to react to more. I like basically any random shit that happens in America or around it. Usually with Federation is usually about America. So yeah, I like watching videos like this. So by liking and commenting, you can really help this channel by helping the algorithm and things. I've watched different type of videos. There's no really trend to it. Recently, I've been watching a lot of military videos because I don't know, that's YouTube has been recommended to me. I don't know, and I like that geopolitics and military equipment and things like that. But yeah, sometimes when I watch and react to a different video, algorithm goes crazy and things like that. So by liking and commenting, you can really help that out. And yeah, that's what this one. Whoa.
This law goes into effect, every single fast food restaurant in the state of California will start selling loaves of bread. Today we're talking about blatant political corruption and Panera bread, and once I start going down this rabbit hole, I'm not going to be able to stop, so we're going to go ahead and get the ad out of the way right now up front. Zaka Life Go Balm. It's made in the USA, 100% organic, full-spectrum CBD balm that you can put on any ache, any sprain, or athletic injury, and it's going to make it immediately feel better. This is one of the few times that I've actually approached a company to rep their product and not the other way around, because I actually use this stuff, okay? I'm 30, I'm fat, I've been doing construction for years, things hurt, this makes it not hurt. So if you're in the same boat as me, go ahead and give this stuff a try over at ZakaLife.com. Use the discount code FAT5 to save some money. Let's get back to the video. Okay, so here's what happened. The minimum wage in California is $16 an hour. The California state government is trying to pass a law that would make the minimum wage for fast food employees $20 an hour. Now, this law isn't designed to affect every restaurant in the state of California. It's specific for fast food chains. And in fact,
how does minimum wage work there? It's like if there's something minimum wage in your state, anyone has to pay that to their employee. If they pay anything less, that's criminal, is it? So basically any fast food chain will have to pay $20 per hour now. Can't pay below, it doesn't matter what the job is.
fast food chain is defined as any chain restaurant that has 60 or more locations nationwide, and those locations have a drive-through, or when they do have in-dining, there is zero table service, so like there's no waiter or waitress. Okay, so exactly what most people think of when they think of fast food. Now, there are some exemptions within the law, so hypothetically, say you took a major chain restaurant like a McDonald's or a Wendy's, an individual restaurant could be exempt from this new minimum wage if that restaurant is inside of an airport, inside of a hotel, inside of an event center, a theme park, a public or private museum, a gambling establishment, or is considered a concession stand, or that restaurant is located on state-owned land. They would no longer have to pay that $20 minimum wage. Now, right off the bat, most of
if it's government involved, we're not going to pay $20, fuck you. And obviously every other thing is basically like part of something. Part of amusement park. It's like amusement parks going to get cut and things like that. It's not its own thing. So when that's the case, this law's not going to apply.
Those seem pretty okay, except for that last one about state-owned land. It seems like the government's just basically coming out and saying, hey, everybody has to pay this new minimum wage unless it's a restaurant that we own, in which case we don't have to abide by our own rules. Essentially saying the quiet part out loud of, hey, the government's here to make sure nobody fucks you except for them. But I mean, let's face it,
that's California in a nutshell, right? With the taxes. But that's the thing I'm getting, right? I don't know much about it, but yeah. But there was a thing where people are leaving Los Angeles, California in general, California and Texas and things like that. Now, okay, that last thing should be a thing that people get pissed off over. Okay, sure you have this law. What do you mean by state? Like, why does government have to pay? Something like that.
pretty much just how it's always been. It's probably how it's always gonna be. Now, this bill makes it all the way through the state government. It's in its final stages. And then at the last moment, somebody adds an additional exemption. And that exemption is that a restaurant is no longer required to pay that minimum wage if They also sell bread as a standalone item, which I think we can all agree is kind of a weird exemption. I mean, off the top of my head, that would pretty much only apply to Panera bread. At this point, Bloomberg puts two and two together and they're like, hey, you know who owns a bunch of Panera breads in the state of California? Governor Newsom's friend. They went to the same high school. They've done business together in the past. He even donated like $160,000 to Governor Newsom's campaign recently. So now Gavin Newsom's taking a bunch of heat for potential political corruption, and he's not just taking it from like Republicans because he's a Democrat. No, he's getting it from all sides because it's so fucking obvious that it's political corruption. I mean, he's a Democrat and he got called out by Bloomberg, for fuck's sake. So first, the news outlets ask him, they're like, why?
Okay, what the fuck? It's like, how do you be that blatant, right? In US, there has been corruption like this all the time, right? If your like whole country is based on capitalism around it, when it comes to businesses, corruption like this is going to exist. Sure, like that's given, okay? I know of a lot of corruption going back to like Bush, Clinton, and God knows what. But none of them have been this level of blatant, right? This bill is there, sure. Okay, if you sell bread, that's not going to apply. Why? Okay, by the way, my friend is the one who's fast food chain that sells bread. How blatant is that? Like, what, anybody can put two and two together at that point? That's insanity. With the newer age of like fake news, right? That's fake news. Everything that Donald Trump basically, I don't know, coined, let's just say, this is fake news. That doesn't apply. I can say whatever. I can shoot somebody and I'll still get elected. I think people have this mentality now. Doesn't matter what I do. It will all blow over or something. Which is like a dangerous thing. I hope this doesn't blow over and people do get pissed off. Like, okay, Trump is a different thing. Trump is charismatic. That's one off or something. Everybody of you don't get passed like that.
Why did this bread exemption get added in the first place? To which he basically responded, it was part of the sausage making process for the bill and provided no more explanation. And then when the interviewer came out and just straight up asked him, like, don't you think it's a little bit weird that everybody has to pay a $20 minimum wage except for Gavin Newsom's friend? Gavin Newsom said, no, that's not true because we never talked about it.
It's a friend of Gavin Newsom who doesn't have to pay the $20 an hour minimum wage.
But it turns out, A, it's not true. He never talked to me about it, period, full stop.
Do you understand the gravity of what that dude just said? He basically got...
No, he never talked to me. I just did him a solid because goodness of my heart. I don't care what you did. You did that. Doesn't matter if you talked about it or not.
Got caught red-handed giving a political favor to a buddy, and then when he was directly asked about it, he said, I'm not doing political favors for my friend, and I know that because my friend and I never talked about it. This man is literally trying to gaslight people into thinking they don't know how friendships work. Like, yeah, obviously, me and my friends have never had a direct conversation about not kicking each other in the dick, but also, we're not gonna go kick each other in the dick because we all know we're friends. And you wanna know what's gonna happen? Nothing. Absolutely nothing is gonna happen because Newsom is a politician, and politicians get away with...
I didn't donate money to the KKK because we never talked about it. There you go. That's how it works. I'm not a racist.
Absolutely everything. It's not a Republican thing. It's not a Democrat thing. It's if you're in the politician club, you can pretty much do whatever the fuck you want and you'll never get in trouble. I mean, there are both Republican and Democrat politicians at the federal level right now that supposedly are better stock market investors than fucking Warren Buffett, but they didn't get that good at stock trading until after they became politicians and had access to insider information, but they would never use that insider information. Never. Not once.
Never.
So politicians get to get away with that. Meanwhile,
See also has, is it her daughter or whatever? Right? Like, there's a big issue there as well. Like I don't exactly remember, but I remember hearing about it. Like either she or her daughter's. Let's just say she had some stake on some money or something. Let's just say through family or something, right? So this kind of like corruption is like not just Republican, it's both. Sometimes more Democrats than Republican because where they're situated, right? Democrats are mostly like metropolitan cities and things like that, New York and things where business is more. So usually corruption is more in Democrat side than Republican.
I'm over here getting $120 tickets because the window tint on my car is apparently too dark, even though that's the exact same tint that came on it from the fucking factory. And that's not even the worst part. Like, am I frustrated about blatant political corruption? Yeah, but I see it so much, so often, I'm basically desensitized.
Okay, I don't want to pause too much because I'm learning more and more how to pause. You have that law as well about the window tint, right? India had that law, I guess, a few years ago. Of any tint, right? It's not dark or slow. It's like, it has to be visible, what's happening inside, because some crime happened here and there, like, okay, crime is happening a lot in cars and things, right? So, okay, you can't have any tint. It has to be completely visible or something. But that's kind of fucked up because now what people are doing is like they're putting those blinders, right? That magnetic and like suction cup blinders that you put on windows. That is worse than the tint now. You really can't see anything. Apparently, that's not against the law. The law should have been like nothing should restrict the view rather than not put window tint on it.
Ties to it at this point. The most frustrating part of this particular Breadgate incident is that it just highlights that politicians have absolutely no understanding of cause and effect. Seriously, I've got a 3-year-old that
they
can
don't
put
care.
a 4-piece puzzle together, and I'm willing to bet a significant portion of these politicians can't. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to show you. Let's do a thought experiment together. McDonald's has come out and said that this new minimum wage increase is going to cost McDonald's $250,000 a year per location. Okay, let's pull up Google. How many McDonald's are in the state of California? 1,224. Okay, multiply that by $250,000. That's $306 million a year. Okay, are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? Because I'm trying to tell you that the California state government is about to put McDonald's in a situation where McDonald's can A, pay $306 million, or they can B, figure out how to bake a fucking loaf of bread inside their restaurant every day. Which one do you think McDonald's, aka one of the most successful capitalist endeavors ever, is gonna take? Okay? Every fucking McDonald's in California is gonna have...
I think it's gonna be better for them. They'll bake the bread, and because of that, they can just make a fresh bun or something right there, right? So if anything, McDonald's sales will go high. Oh, the burger tastes better now.
Have an easy bake oven on the front desk, and they're gonna bake a single fucking loaf of bread every day, and now they don't have to pay the new minimum wage because politicians are this fucking stupid. And then not only is McDonald's gonna sidestep the entire minimum wage, they're also gonna charge $1,000 for that loaf of bread because they fucking can. It's gonna turn it into an internet meme, which is...
I think they're gonna raise the prices of burgers as well using this excuse in California. Like, oh, we have to, like, okay, because they know that average audience probably doesn't know this bread law, right? Okay, we know, the federation knows, right? Average people don't know that. Who goes to like, oh, Gavin Newsom, that a-hole that he passed the law, we have to like $20. Okay, give us more money for the burger, even though they're probably sidestepping with the bread.
Is going to give them free marketing, and you know what? Some people are still going to buy the $1,000 loaf of bread just to say they did it. Remember when Szechuan dipping sauce for McNuggets was selling for $15,000 on eBay? Yeah, that's also going to happen. And remember, it's not just McDonald's that's going to be doing this. It's going to be every fast food chain in the entire state, because all they have to do is bake a couple loaves of bread and save hundreds of millions of dollars a year. That's probably what they're going to do. And it's like, at least with the political corruption, I can understand it. Like, I don't approve of it. I'm not a fan, but I can understand the notion that somebody's willing to break the law and fuck other people over for financial gain. I don't like it, but I can understand it. I, for the life of me, cannot wrap my head around the concept of a politician, somebody that's in charge of the rules of society, not having the mental capacity to understand the simple logic of, if I do this, they'll do that. How in the fuck is that a thing? It's like they're in a Three Stooges movie and they stop, look at the rake, and then step on it and smack themselves in the face anyways. I don't understand.
I think you don't understand, man. The whole thing isn't that. He doesn't care. He doesn't care if they sidestep. He doesn't care if the people do receive $20. Basically, he made some promises. People put pressure on it, like raise the minimum wage. Now he can just say it like, look, see that? I did that. I did the minimum wage thing. What do you want from me? Basically, he's just trying any means. It's like, when you go to, a school homework given to you. You'll do any means necessary that when you go tomorrow, right, you can technically tell the teacher, like, okay, I did the school homework. It doesn't matter how you did it, or even if you did it, or whatever you use. Basically, the point is to pass that point, where teachers say, fine, go sit down on your chair. He did the minimum wage thing. Did it work? Who gives a fuck? He did that, check was done. There you go, moving on. He's basically trying any means necessary to, I'm pretty sure there's pressure there. There's a pressure on him like, okay, you said you're going to raise minimum wage once you get the seat or whatever. Or it doesn't matter what it is. So he just made this bill. There you go.
There's truly nothing the government cannot mess up. They mess up absolutely everything they get anywhere near touching, and it has the weirdest ramifications on the planet. In the 1940s, the government bolstered the dairy industry because they wanted to be able to buy more ice cream for the Navy during World War II, and now there's 7 billion pounds of cheese in an underground cave network in Missouri. In the 1960s, JFK and Lyndon B. Johnson tried to incentivize Germans to buy more American chicken, and now for some reason I'm not allowed to own a Toyota Hilux. And now it's looking like the California state government tried to raise the minimum wage for for fast food workers and somehow didn't do that, but inadvertently made every fast food restaurant in the state sell loaves of bread. So in conclusion, I guess we'll just focus on the small silver lining of this entire story, and that is that pretty much every news outlet, left-leaning or not, has decided to call out a corrupt politician, and we need more of that in the world. Quit playing party politics where you defend somebody just because they have your same political beliefs or they're on your side, and call out corruption when you see it, whether they're supposed to be on your team or not. That's exactly how the world should be, and I think it's great journalism. So if that's your guys' news outlet and you were part of that, kudos. I appreciate it, and I'm sure a lot of...
Look, man, he's a Democrat, right? One thing I would notice from Republican side, if that was Republicans probably wouldn't have called him out, right? Democrat, it doesn't matter how you see Democrats do call their own out, right? Who's that? I forgot that his name, who's also a comedian, Al something, right? Who made a joke on the plane, just whatever. That was enough to him, thrown off the chair, right? Republicans wouldn't have done that. There's many instances where Republicans didn't even call out, even though left-wing media screams about that. Nobody will even cover in the right-wing media. Nobody will ever talk about it, right? McConnell will basically go and just laugh it out. Left side call their own out when things like this happen. So when Republican guy is in this position and both media covers it and it becomes this issue, then I'll be like, okay, this was more like it. That's where the problem is.
Of other people do too. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch over at thefatelectrician.com. Whack bang out.
Is there more?
And I am gonna go figure out how to untint the windows in my fucking car.
Remove it, I don't know. But I don't know, take something like diesel or something at the edge and just remove. I don't know how to remove it, but I'm pretty sure I've seen it put over. It must be easier to remove, I don't know. Well, there you go. Breadgate. Why is everything called gate? Because something happened multiple decades ago that was called gate? I don't know. Everything's Breadgate now. Okay. Okay, look, man. This thing in a American-style democracy, which I feel like is everywhere, right? America, in modern democracies, was probably started by America. People try to improve it, but is it improvement or I don't know. But basically, American-style democracy that every world has, right? Corruption, especially proper capitalists like American, economies and how the whole government is. Corruptions like this will happen. It's impossible for not to happen, right? Only way to not have this kind of corruption is I have an oversight. More government into everything, more regulation. As soon as somebody hears that, every state basically just jumps up we don't want government to do any of the things. And they have reason to say that, obviously. Right? There's always going to be middle ground of everything. It's really hard to find middle line and how to stay on that. Right? It will always leak into something else. It's really hard to stay in center. So if let's just say how to make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen, more oversight, more regulation, more people that oversees things. Right? What this will lead to eventually is basically China, how China works, how Chinese government works. Do you want that? No, you don't want that. I know somebody here that as soon as I say that, not that much, but this much. That's the point. Who decide what is what much and not? And eventually something will lead to something. So that's why as an idea, you have to have how America is working. You can even try to get more strictness in there because it doesn't stay democratic anymore. It's really hard to basically stay there. That's the problem. Alright, well, that was Breadgate. Why every fast food joint will be selling Loaves version of fat files. If you like my next one, don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you next time.